everyone, and hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Is It Worth It, where I go around the world and the internet trying to find materials that will help you become a better artist or just enjoy the process that much more. Now today we have a product that has been suggested by viewers just like you in the comments. Are like, hey, can you review these? And of course this product has a lot of hype behind it, and so I am eager to try COPIC Markers. So these markers were gifted to me by Darren Soto, a very, very talented artist. I suggest that you go check him out. I will make sure to put a link to his artwork in the description below. Make sure you check it out. It is well worth it. And he was able to get these to me and was like, here you go, man, try these out. So I'm really looking forward to these. Went ahead and got what they have claimed as the perfect blendable markers. So we're gonna try these out and see indeed if COPIC markers are worth it. So COPIC markers are probably one of the most well-known professional grade markers that are on the market. There are many, many markers, but COPIC is a name that you will find everywhere. And I haven't generally went to them, but I'm eager to try these out. So the packaging itself is pretty simple, right? Plastic case, got a little information on it, which is always nice that it actually has some information. Dual tipped, refillable. It's a refillable marker, which is one of the big traits of a professional grade marker, is that you can actually refill them yourself. The alcohol ink marker is compatible with COPIC airbrush system. So these obviously, they have an airbrush component that goes along with it, but we are just going to try out these markers. And we have, these are blending trios. They've put them into packs of 3 that they say these will have some nice blends to it. So let's go ahead and crack one of these open. I'm a particular fan of blue, so we're going to go ahead and use those. All right. So it is an oval shape, right? So it's going to prevent it from constantly rolling away, which is great. It's a pretty sturdy marker. I mean, you can tell, like, you know how there are different plastics that you can tell, and so this one feels plasticky, but it is definitely sturdy. So that's nice. The colors here seem as though they would blend pretty nicely. I think that just by the caps by themselves, they're actually a little bit too far apart, but we're gonna find that out. Okay, so we have a nice chisel tip, right? It looks like a very strong chisel. It'll be interesting to get into that. And a brush tip. Okay, so these, from what I hear, COPICs are very, very well known. Most of the people that I know use COPICs and they're just brushes. I don't exactly know if they actually have a chisel tip. It might have been one of the reasons why I actually stayed away from COPIC, because they're just brushes. I could be wrong. So, you know, it's something you'd have to check out for yourself. But as far as these tips, like that brush looks very, very strong. So let's see how they work. Oh, and of course the cap test. So I don't know if you could hear that, right? The cap is very, very strong on both ends, so it's gonna snap on. Let's see if they hook onto each. Oh, party foul, COPIC. So now when you're doing markers and stuff, you always got to have your cap over to the side. That one's kind of sad that the caps don't actually connect. So that's kind of a bummer. All right. So let's see where we are with these. B12. Okay. So let's try the brush out first. It's very soft. The brush itself seems pretty soft. And you know me as far as brushes go. I like to have a little bit more control over my brushes. So, but you know, as you can see, you can definitely get a nice, you know, depending on how much pressure you use, you can definitely get a very nice thin line, and then push a little harder and you can get a nice dark thick line, so that's good. And one of the things that I've noticed, at least with a brush tip already, is that the amount of ink that comes out, if you go over something again, it's going to instantly become darker. See? Right here. So it just becomes instantly darker. Like it's not even a consistent, like really fast, because it gets darker and then lighter as you put it down, right? Here, based on the pressure you use, so you got to watch out for that. But as far as, you know, it being consistent, you able to move the marker, the ink is coming out fairly nicely. Cannot complain about that. But I don't like how, at this moment, I don't exactly like just how translucent it is. Alright, so then with the chisel tip, right, very nice thin lines. Okay, let's see what else. Then you get some nice thicker lines, so that's good. Right, so you get a lot of versatility in the chisel tip, so that's good. Oh, it goes down very nice. Like the chisel goes down really nice and opaque once you go over it a couple times. Let's try. Okay, so that's nice. Right, goes down real smooth. Color comes out. Let's see. It's holding its line pretty good. No, but it's still starting to fray at the end. But these sketch ones don't seem bad. Let's try the different colors. So the next one up. Whoa, the next one up is very dark in comparison to the lighter one. So unless that dries a lot lighter, I don't know about that. But I mean, the brush itself, I mean, it's a very nice color, very nice blue. You know, this brush holds really nice. Right? So the lines are consistent, the ink flows out really nice. It's got putting out a lot more ink with the light blue. It actually bubbles. So it actually bubbled a little bit with all the ink that came out, so you gotta watch it. But I have to say though that it does dry really fast, because even though there was all that ink that was on there, it dried really fast. So that's a nice feature, that it can dry really fast. So I mean, I think the reason why it lets out so much ink is so that you can blend it. So that's good. It does, it fray, you know, it's holding its line, but a little bit, it does bleed just a little bit more than I would like. Okay. Oh, this one, blue, maybe it was just on there. Oh, there we go. Oh, this one, the edges, so once again, we never know if it's actually a manufacturing issue or if it's the pen itself or the marker itself that, you know, when making straight lines, right, the ink's not flowing out of this one. It does here, does with the thin lines, but then when you come in, see, whereas this blue one came out real nice. Right, so comes out fairly nice. It bleeds into it. So that's good. As the darker it gets, the more that it actually bleeds out, which is common for most markers. But let's go ahead and see. They say that they say that it blends, so I'm just gonna lay down a nice thick layer, right? Blue, then the next blue. Go to the next blue. Yeah, I think the jump for this is too big. Right, and then generally speaking, you want to go back over, right, the transition area. Try and make that color blend a little bit. Alright, so we'll let that dry for a moment and see what happens. I mean, while it's drying, I don't necessarily, I mean, it doesn't look like that's as strong of a blend as it says it is, right? I mean, these are the three colors that they put in, and it's like, it seems to be not as blendable as it wants to be. Try the brush, maybe that'll work better. The brush seems to be picking up the color. I think that's where we're supposed to be. Because it seems like the brush is actually, you know, picking up the color and allowing it to blend out a little bit. Yeah, I think that's where it's supposed to be. Like, I think that's where these Copic markers will shine, is primarily in the brush blending. Yeah, I think that's because that blend is way stronger, right? That blue, that transition is way stronger than this one. And so that's actually, you know, I think the blending with the brush actually works way better. Like, you can get a nicer transition with that than you can with the chisel. And like I said, I think that's why the Copics have been shining with the brush, is because you get a nice blend with the brush. So go ahead and try these brown ones real quick. I mean, it's the same, right? It's the same thing. Comes out nice, just as the other one. I do believe the jumps are just too big. Yeah, the jumps when you're using the chisel are far too big. And it doesn't seem to want to blend with the chisel. Like, this is not designed to blend. Like, there are other markers that will actually allow you to blend with the chisel, like the Arctics markers. Those ones blended with the chisel, whereas the Copic markers seem to really do well with the idea of the brush, right? Like, you can get a lot better transitions, yeah, because the brush for some reason just allows it to just blend with each other. Like, the ink stays, right? So the ink is actually staying on the paper a lot longer with the brush, so you can actually come back in. You can actually come back in with the, you know, with a darker color or a lighter color, and then actually make that blend work. Right, so you can pull that out just a little bit. So there you go. It's definitely, like, it is blendable, but it is blendable with the brush, not necessarily with the chisel at all. Right, so then you can come out and you can blend that. Right, and it stays wet so that you can actually maneuver it around. Make sure you have a good, decent paper, because you know I'm coming in and I have to saturate it a lot to make that blend, right? And as you all know, I am no brush expert, so, but like when you look at that, right? So this transition, just like this transition, works way better than the chisel transitions, even when they're dry. Okay. And so, and then lastly, one of the things that I recently picked up was the fact that we got to kind of check whether or not that it can hold up against the ink, or not the ink, but like a micron pen or something like that. Because if it can't, then you know what's the point of using? Because a lot of us use ink, right? A lot of us are using ink now, and so we have to see whether or not it can hold up with the micron pen or something like that. So we're just gonna pull a line out with the micron pen, pull it out with a Copic liner. So this one's, whoops, Copic, it's micron. This one, right? This one's Faber-Castell, and then I have one more currently with me, and this is the Identity pen. Right, we'll go Identity pen. All right, and so we're gonna take the light blue, and we're just gonna go over it and see what happens. Okay, we're gonna do both the brush and the chisel. Okay, so there's that, and then we will do it with the browns as well. Let's see what happens. All right. But see here, you can really see how it bleeds out. But with that said, the only pen that's really kind of affected by this, so this was the micron pen, the top one, Copic liner, the Faber-Castell, and then the Identity pen. The only one that's actually being affected is the Identity pen. So the micron's holding up, like going over it. It's got a little bit, it's affected just a little bit, but you can barely see it. The Copic liner is like, yes, we work very well together, right? So there's absolutely nothing going on there. And then the Faber-Castell one's holding up really well too. So as far as these markers go with a pen, they hold up really well to pretty much every, micron, Copic, Faber-Castell, all are holding well, not being pulled away from the ink, except for the Identity pen. The Identity pen is not working well with Copic, but every other one is. So that is absolutely fantastic. All right, so we just got done with the Copic sketch markers, and I have to say, like, I've stayed away from them for a while, and testing them out, I can see why I stayed away from them, right? They are well known for being brush markers. They're absolutely fantastic for brushes. As we saw with the actual testing of the marker, the chisel didn't actually blend as well as the brush did. The brush allowed for the ink to be reconstituted and pushed back and forth, so it allowed for a proper blending. And I am not a brush person, so that kind of pulled me away from the actual marker. And seeing that the actual chisel bled a little bit more, and for what I'm doing, that doesn't work. But if you are a brush marker user and you like the brush tip, I would highly recommend going and getting these. The colors are vibrant, they come out really nicely. The brush is soft enough to give you thick and thin brush strokes, and if you have enough practice and a light hand, you can get really thin, precise lines. And the chisel gives you a variety of lines to work with as well. But the thing that you have to know, or at least in the demonstration that we did here, is that it does blend. I mean, it bleeds a little bit more than it probably should once you start saturating the paper with the chisel, and the blending isn't as strong unless you use the brush marker. So I did check, and they do have a bullet tip marker as well, but just based off of the chisel, I don't think that that would be one of the things that I would want to try out, just due to the fact that it doesn't blend as well, and that is what they are known for, is for blending. But it does exist, and I might just have to go out and give it a shot. So once again, if you are a brush marker user, I definitely would recommend these. They work really, really well. Colors are vibrant and they're refillable. So these are definitely something to go for if you're looking for a professional look and grade. These are good for you. So yes, these are worth it if you're a brush marker user. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video and got some information that is going to be helpful for you in the future as an artist, and that you really did get something from it. If for any reason you have a product that you would like me to look at, please go ahead and drop me a comment. I look at them and then I add it to my list of materials to try, just like the Copics were a suggestion. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and share. And if you are new to the channel, go ahead and give me a subscribe. I put out Is It Worth It content every single week, and other content as well. So definitely be on my channel and checking out what in the world I'm doing every single week. Thank you guys so very much, and I will see you at the next video. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to check out some of my other videos, click on the link on your right. Or if you're interested in a more behind the scenes and personal look at what I do on a day-to-day basis, please click on the link that leads you to the vlog. Thank you very much, and we'll see you at the next video.